What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I'm your hostess, doing the mostest, Kimanchi, and we are here with season 2, episode 13 of Brilliant Minds, titled The Rabbit Hole. Now, first and foremost, for everybody out there dealing with this snowstorm, I hope y'all are safe. I hope you got enough food to last. Don't be eating all y'all snowstorm snacks, okay? You feel me? If you hear any noise in the background, it's because they decided now of all times, and it's getting dark outside, to clear out the parking lot of where I live. So if you hear anything, that's what's going on there. Also, if you hear any coughing noises, my wife is getting over the flu, and you know I got 3 dogs, so if they beefing over some toys, then it is what it is. But you know what, none of that stops the show over here, so we're just gonna get right into it. So currently, right now, at the time of filming this, I do not have the director, writer, or the cinematographer information. Sometimes if I get early access, it's like at very early stages where like opening and closing credits aren't in there. But I will make sure that that information is updated in this description box, because by the time y'all see this, the episode will have already aired on Monday night at 10 o'clock. And y'all are watching this tonight on Tuesday, catching up with me, you feel me? So jump right into it. I just want to give like a shout out to the fact that they were able to successfully incorporate AI and the fear and the usage as far as like benefits and the misuse of AI in this case. I thought that was so clever to talk about the psychological implications of people using chatbots to form friendships, to form relationships, and for it to replace going to the actual doctor, and also replacing human interactions. And for the past few episodes, you know, we started off this season really getting into the mind of the characters, and it kind of tapered off just a little bit. But in this episode, I don't know if y'all paid attention to when, what's the patient's name? Her name is Nora. So Nora was the college student who was kind of in this weird state of catatonia, which I actually learned a little bit about that. It's kinetic catatonia. And so instead of being locked in the way that we would normally think of the catatonic state, it's like a state of like hyperactivity and continuous motion, because if you don't, that is when your brain is basically going to shut down, and we see that happening in this case. But backtracking, sorry, it was a little bit of nerd in me. I loved how they showed through Wolf investigating this case and reading through the transcripts of her talking to Virginia, where Virginia started off very stoic, very robotic. The bun and everything was in place. The outfit was like perfect. She spoke perfectly. There were no errors. But then over time, we started to see Virginia adopt the same like chaotic and more normalized college girl view to reflect Nora. And I thought this was a really good way to showcase how what you put into AI is what you get back. And so if you're using it for generative use, it's just going to pull from the internet and various resources something to make up. But the more you pour into it, the more that it learns, and the more that it becomes a reflection of you. Unfortunately, in Nora's case, due to having an extreme emotional reaction and not really knowing how to talk to anybody, while also having these crazy high standards for herself, this turned into not just using AI to kind of restructure or get some type of artificial intelligent feedback on processes and calculations that she did. She literally formed a relationship for it to talk back. And they incorporated the flaws of this when it came to us finding out that she was looking up a diagnosis, and it was giving her like all of this information on like lifespan, mortality rates, and everything like that of the people with this condition. And this kind of showed the flaws and limitations of AI, because medicine is a practice. It's information that's continuously learned and then researched and then published. So while Virginia, the AI bot, was giving her published information, it was outdated information, because the doctors who are currently practicing medicine now are already in the process of updating that information. Unfortunately, it just takes years to publish it as a scholarly and journalistic article. So it kind of shows you how, if you're not taking the information that you get from AI and then fact checking that with the people currently working in the field, it can lead you down a path where you only have 75% of the information or completely outdated information, and now you're making current day and future decisions based off of data that is decades old. And so putting that in a medical anomaly, beautiful. I cannot wait to find out who wrote this. I thought that was so good to show that conversation within the medical aspect. If you've been watching The Pit, you see that the new doctor that's going to be taking over for Dr. Robbie when he goes on vacation is trying to implement AI in order to help doctors chart on their notes a little bit faster, and all the benefits and the way that getting the notes in time can help prevent patient mishaps later, which is true, but there's still like a human element to a lot of the things that go in it, and a lot of research in order to set up the parameters of the right and left bounds, so that you know how to use it ethically, so that the AI itself doesn't end up exploiting the system and therefore exploiting the patient. So if you can hear me talking about it, I'm very much like nerding out about what this is. And for somebody who currently works in the medical field, and that conversation making it to the facility that I work in, I'm not anti-AI. Generative AI, definitely be looking at it like, why would you just ask this to make it up? Like, where is your thought? Where is your input? Where's your voice? Where's your passion? Where's your everything else? But much like technology and where, humans were at the dawn of time into where humans are now, I think like the fear surrounding it is the same fears that existed with, computers and cell phones. It's the exact same fear that existed when everybody thought we was dying when, Y2K was coming. And so the more you know, then the less that fear is present. So for me, it's just all about education. And so with Brilliant Minds, weaving this and embedding this into an actual diagnosis and into a medical event, I think it's also awareness for people who are using AI for medical care. And before I get to the rest of the episode, I just want to say, like, it sucks that healthcare is where it is, to the point where for the most part, all people have is their phone, whatever AI thing that they use, to try to figure out how to make themselves feel better, to get mental health care from an AI bot, and just trusting that it's going to pull the most accurate information, right? Like, that's fucked up that this is the state of healthcare, and so it's leading people down an even lonelier antisocial path in pursuit of the thing that they are looking for from humans. So, yeah, just, I'm leaving it there. Now, the rest of this episode, okay. So, we learned in this episode that the reason Josh and Bo broke up the first time is because Josh was ready for kids and Bo was not. And Carol tells Wolf this information. And he's like, okay, well, what changed? She was like, I mean, I guess they both on the same page now. Like, I don't know, like, what is the purpose of you asking me this question? At this point, it's like self-torture for Wolf. But like, that kind of stings because Wolf is kind of getting all of this secondhand information of the state of Josh's mind and where he thought their relationship was going from everybody except Josh. But whenever he's in Josh's presence, he is picking fights because he is failing to communicate what he's actually feeling. And again, it is brought up in this episode. Carol is telling him, bro, you haven't gone swimming. Your plants are all dead. Like, what is going on? And Wolf is like, look, I'm coming to work. I'm killing it. I'm doing everything. She's like, I'm not even talking about work. We know that you know how to work in the worst conditions. But your real life is like a glaring signal to some shit getting ready to pop off. And if it is imbalanced, then your work will begin to reflect that imbalance. And he's continuing to put it off. And so it's like, okay, all of the talk and the speculations and the predictions of Wolf being over at Hudson Oaks because he's trying to investigate Dr. Fredericks, it's really looking, and I think I started saying this 2 or 3 episodes ago, like, nah, he need to be there. Yeah, I think I said it in episode 11. I started being like, yes, she may be embezzling and, you know, some insurance fraud by keeping patients in there longer than they need to be. But also, again, 2 things can be true, and Wolf needs to be there, okay? Now, with this also, so Nico gets called into Josh's office and he's like, hey, you know, how's it going working in the neuro department? Because as y'all know, like, Nico was brought up to just kind of help keep things along, make sure that people are charting when they're supposed to, just to keep the machine up and running because the neuro department was not functioning before Wolf came. Well, it wasn't functioning well. But then Wolf was doing a lot of procedures, spending a lot of money. So basically, you know, checks and balances. Now, y'all know Nico loves tea. And I need Nico in more episodes because I am ready for the mess. This half of this season is really laying groundwork for like that messiness within the hospital. Again, without it becoming childish and reminiscent of like the 2010s, right? And so Nico is in there and he's like, hey, I know the truth about you and Wolf, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, everything is cool, everything is kosher. It seems like you're not kind of handling this well. You know, are you, you know, how's you and Bo? Like, you know, I can see what we're doing there. And Josh is like, I don't know. In my notes, I put, Josh, are you all in with Bo? Question mark, exclamation, question mark, question mark. Because you're doing a lot of defending and deflecting and like all these other things. It's like the way that he talks about this new relationship, especially within conversations about Wolf. It's like, okay, we're rebounding hard. And if you're using Bo as a rebound, when y'all left off your relationship because you wanted to take a step further and he didn't, that's fucked up. That now he's back and he may be wanting a family now, but now you're the one juggling the future of this relationship and nobody knows about it. And again, a huge red flag is the fact that Bo don't know who Wolf is. That's telling you right now that he don't want this relationship. He don't. He's getting under or on top or both with somebody else to get over Wolf. And it's not working. Josh, we see through you, baby, like a chest x-ray. You're not fooling anyone. And so, speaking of not fooling nobody, you know, cat's out of the bag between Carol and Josh that Dana is the one who snitched, right? And I hate when black women in these shows be having to take the high road, but I definitely get it. Carol is older than Dana. She has foresight and hindsight that Dana does not possess, and I do like that she was rationally what's the word I'm looking for, understanding about Dana's situation. Was it fucked up? Yes. But Carol still stands by her decision in being able to like maintain impartiality when treating Allison. But she also understands from Dana's point of view why she would report it and why it would look that way based off being triggered by her own sister's incident. But Carol told Dana, look girl, I know, don't care. Let's put it behind us. I get it. I did what I thought was right. You did what you thought was right. Sometimes everybody's right. Sometimes everybody's wrong. And when it comes to healthcare, there's a lot of gray because a lot of things are situation based. And when your education and when precedent and practice, you run out of all of those things and you have to focus on gut instinct and you have to focus on like in the moment things, you just gotta make a decision. And we're talking about Dana who couldn't even tell people that somebody died. She was crying all the damn time. So somebody that's that hyper emotional when it comes to certain things, yes, she's gonna be very sensitive about the decision that Carol made. But cool, we're gonna put everything behind us. But Carol and Josh was talking about it and she was like, listen, Wolf ain't even doing too well right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on with him, but this ain't something that he needs to know. So let's keep it between me and you. Okay? Everything's gonna be cool. Everything's gonna be cool. So, you know, what's going on about his day? Nico's going on, hey bro, just talked to your ex. I think it is so amazing. Like, you know, he's moved on with Bo. You seem to be killing it in the department. Even Dana and Carol squashed everything, especially after Dana told on her. And Wolf is like, run it back. And Nico was like, yeah, you didn't know? The mentorship is going great. Like, everybody's so mature. I love it here. And Wolf is like, move, little boy, move. So he bursts into Carol's office and he's going the fuck off. And what did I say in episode 12? What did I say? Y'all are over here like, oh, we gotta keep it from Wolf. And I'm like, Wolf is going to come for Dana's head. He already over here looking over his shoulder with Dr. Porter, and now there's somebody else on his team that he feels that he cannot trust. Then on top, this is information that he's finding out after Van and Jacob left. Baby. That's a rap for Wolf. He ain't with none of y'all. And I love this though, because you really get to see like that argument and that friendship and that volleying and that going back and forth. And Carol is just like, bro, you over here madder than the person who actually got told on. My entire fucking career could have ended, but you busted in my office because I didn't tell you. It's a dead issue, bro. Relax. You got your own shit that you're dealing with. Matter of fact, did you go call the psychiatrist? And now Wolf want to get mute. And she's like, okay, well, you worried about the wrong thing. And I'm going to need you to go get some help before you come bursting in my office trying to tell me what I'm going to do with who I'm going to do it with, babes. Absolutely not. So Wolf is pissed or whatever. And so he leaves. So he's over there at the bar or whatever with Sofia. And he was like, girl, fuck them. And he was like, no, but not you though, not you. And she was like, absolutely, yeah, fuck all of them. Like, it's me and you against the world. And he's like, yes, you the only person that I can count on. And so they're dancing the night away. Wolf is throwing it back. And I do wonder if he gonna wake up tomorrow. I do wonder. But you know, he's done like way worse than this, so I don't know, maybe. But then we move into 1 week later. Now we're back in Hudson Oaks. Dun, dun, dun. And guess who's there? Sofia. And Wolf says, I'm here to break you out. And she's like, finally, I knew you were coming for me. So, there's that, okay? What did y'all think? What did y'all think? What are your thoughts? What are your speculations? What are your predictions? Okay, go ahead and put them in the comments, but I'm gonna tell you mine right now. Okay, in this episode, we did get to see Anthony again, and okay, how do I keep this TV like 17? Clearly, there's still some energy in the air between Carol and Anthony, but this is the first time that we've seen them together. And even Anthony makes a note of like, oh, I haven't seen you around lately since the gala. Now, y'all already know Carol was gassed up by Amelia to go over there, and you know, there was a little bit of egg on her face, and Anthony realized he was a part of cracking a little bit of that egg, because why you flirting in my sis face every day and not telling her that you're at least seeing somebody else, even if it's not exclusive? We're grown. Be fucking honest. But I said this before. Anthony is so good at being authoritative and when to like really level up in it and just put his foot down. Like, there's no room for any questioning, any back and forth. It's a one-way conversation, but also a balance with it being transformational and really pouring into the people that's under his leadership. And so him being able to really carry transformational leadership and authoritative leadership and using it situationally is so good. But I love how he uses it when he's flirting. And I'm like, I need more of this and more interaction with him and Carol, because I think that's the thing she's attracted to. When he be telling people what to do, and he be like, not up in here. She'd be like, oh, hold on. Morris was never that stern. This might be something that I might like. And I'm like, this could be me projecting, but I just feel like this needs to happen. I am the #1 stan of Carol. Like, I don't care whether it's an app or whatever. Like, Carol deserved. I'm tired of hearing about Morris. Mia is like 15, 16 years old. At this point, Mia can make her own schedule on who house she want to go to, girl. Ain't no curfew no more, ain't no bedtime. Like, let that be what it's gonna be. But if you notice in this episode with who was it? It was another patient. They were working together. That's like all. Just watch the episodes with both of them, and then they have to work together. Anthony be putting his foot down, and Carol be like, I see what size shoe that foot is. Okay. Another thing, I mentioned this earlier, but Wolf is going out of his way to pick fights with Josh and to take shots at Josh. Jacob Anderson's artist name, singing artist, a recording musician artist name is Riley Ritchie. And one of my favorite songs is Bad Place. It's on his Diversions and Dead Ends and Diversions album. And one of the intros of that one of the lines is either stare at me or fuck me. And I just feel like that is my advice to Wolf. Just stop talking. Look at him and keep it moving. Or make a move. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This playground, pushing in the dirt, rubbing his face in the sand ass activity is annoying. It is annoying, babe. And it's not making your case any better. Even if Josh is using Bo to get over you, you're not doing anything to make him want you back. If anything, it makes you less attractive. Like, for ratings purposes, I love it. But this is just me talking to the character in being involved in the show as somebody who's just a fan of the characters as if they're living and breathing. Wolf, babe, grow up. Please grow up. Because this is crazy. But I think Josh likes it, y'all. Let me take a step on that. He likes it. He likes it. But he's fucking tired. He is tired. Okay? There's only so much of getting dumped on that you're gonna sit over here and do again before it's like we either gonna fight or we gonna fuck. Like, what's happening? So yeah, I don't know. They need to do something quick. Now, the biggest prediction I have. Ding. I don't think Sofia is real, y'all. I think this is like some Fight Club shit. Like, I think Sofia is a manifestation of Wolf's trauma. I don't think she is alive at all. Walk with me. Let me put my iPad down because I need. Boom. So watching this episode, in the first 5 minutes, it was something about having the conversation with Sofia, and he was trying to get her to come to the hospital and stuff like that, and kind of the way that she was talking about why she never went to the hospital. I literally wrote down, before I wrote a single note. So how I structure my notes is, you know, the title, the writer, director, DP, and then I'll like start with, I'll already like write out relationships that I think like might happen. So I'm like Carol, Wolf, Carol, Josh, whatever, and I'll just have them there. And then as the show goes, I write specific things in those categories. The first thing I wrote down was my thoughts and predictions area, and I put, is Sofia real, with hella question marks. Because this explanation and when they were walking down the street didn't make any sense. And it reminded me of the episode in season 1, I think it was episode 13, when that lady had that tumor in her brain and she saw that little girl and she was helping that little girl out, but it ended up being a fire hydrant. It, like, something about the way that they were walking gave me crazy deja vu. And I'm like, Sofia is not real. The thing that sold it for me, though, sold it. Josh burst into Wolf's office when she was there. He was going over the case and everything like that. And he walked in and he says, you know, sorry to interrupt, but he never looked over Wolf's shoulder, ever. It was like he had no indication that another person was in the room. He's thinking that he's interrupting Wolf from charting on his notes because that is like the hot topic right now. Get your notes in on time so that we can have the correct medication, diagnoses, prognoses, whatever for these patients in a reasonable amount of time that the law says. And so when Josh was like, oh, sorry to interrupt, and Wolf was like, bro, like, whatever, like, cool, whatever. I'm with, can't you see I'm with a patient? And then he shuts the door. But Josh never looked back, never looked over his shoulder, never even acknowledged that sentence. And so I'm like, absolutely, she's fucking fake. And so then when we're at the bar and all these people are surrounding them and everything like that, everybody's just kind of like at the club. And so the angle of them having a conversation is very intimate. But as Wolf is like kind of talking, yes, she's responding back. But depending on the angle, and if she is not real, that could just be him being super fucked up, venting to the bartender. Like drunk people be doing. And I just am like, yo, she's not real. So then when it came to the 1 week later, and I think they tried to trick me. But it's like, he's looking for her and he's walking around and he's like, I'm here to set you free. And she's like, finally, like, I knew you would save me. I think that Wolf is on a quest to save himself. Like, it's some Shutter Island shit going on here, y'all. Like, dead ass. Honestly, if I'm wrong, hey, I am a sore loser, but I do not like being wrong. But if it's clever, if you goop and gag me, like, it doesn't matter if I'm wrong because that's your job. It's great television. It's great writing. I don't think she's real. And I think when Wolf discovered his dad's house in episode 10, the night of the gala, and he burst through the door, I think Wolf found his dad's body. And knowing that his dad is actually dead after coming back into his life after thinking he was dead and disrupting his whole shit, I think that Wolf found Noah dead in that department after seeing all of the newspapers and all of the mail and stuff piled up and shit and no answer on the door, and I think his brain fucking snapped and he's now compartmentalized 2 areas of his life: his personal life and his work life. I think Noah's dead, y'all. I think Noah is dead and Wolf has him up in the upstairs apartment in the vacant building that Sarah lives in. And I think that's where Wolf is staying instead of his own apartment. And I think going through all of these notes and seeing that his dad has been following his career this entire time, I think this is his way of trying to understand and figure out what his dad has been doing the past 30 years. Like, Sarah ain't real. Noah is dead. And Wolf has lost his mind. He lost his mind. I'm sitting on it. Honestly, I'm quite proud of this prediction, okay? Like, some of them is just like, oh, this is where they're gonna go. I may not know how, but I know we're gonna get there, right? But this, If Sarah is a real person and Noah is not dead, I'm gonna be shook because they're doing a really good job at showing that Wolf has lost his mind and doing it so incrementally across the episodes. Here we are, this is episode 13, but like for 8 episodes we're like, oh, Wolf is fine, he's just stressed. But now you're just like, wait a minute, let me go back and look at these signs. And it's like, oh no, babes, the yellow and orange flags have been waving, and now we are at code red, baby. It is 6 flags now. Y'all need to go back. Start at the Halloween episode, then go to episode 10, the gala, and then episode 12. 11, sure, but Halloween, episode 10, episode 12, the writer, and to like last night's episode, the rabbit hole. Like, no, I'm convinced. But I don't know. Y'all tell me, who am I? I'm just a viewer. I ain't nobody. But I'm curious to know. And with that, I'm not even gonna keep y'all longer. That's really all I had to say was the end of that and my prediction. So you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave comments in the comments box below. Also, I'm going to link the episode in the description box. So I'm gonna start linking episodes where I make predictions. I can't remember all of them, but again, I'm just looking at what I do and I'm trying to make sure that it's better and easier for y'all. Also gonna be making a Brilliant Minds playlist for y'all to go back and watch everything, kind of piece the things together. So be on the lookout for that. Just trying to keep everything organized and condensed for you. Anyways, getting back to the spiel. If you got people that only want to listen, make sure you share the Spotify and the Apple Podcast link. You can also find me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, where I post film, TV news, and updates. You can find all of my articles that I write about on www.sothere'sthatpodcast.com. I also link those articles to my Instagram, so you'll see posts and stuff on there as well about the articles, and the links are in the bio as well as the stories. You can find me on my main Twitter page at Kivonchi, and you can also find me on the official podcast Twitter page at Pod. So there's that. I don't know what the fuck is going on with TikTok, but I'm probably gonna take a break from posting to TikTok with everything that's going out in the world, these updated terms and conditions and the privacy information. I just don't think they're gonna see it from me, which is cool because now there are over 1,500 subscribers on my channel. I just did a video. What's today's date? Actual date, Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday. I just did a video 4 days ago, and we were at 1,400 subscribers. In 4 days, 100 more of y'all came to watch me do this. And so, you know, I appreciate my YouTube community, everybody who comments, everybody who shares, everybody who likes, everybody who tunes in. You know, this is where this was birthed. This is where I give a lot of my energy to. So yeah, we're pausing a little bit on the TikTok on the Clock app, but never gonna pause here for y'all. So love y'all. And with that, I'm gonna catch you in the next podcast episode.